Alright, I have another Beyblade unboxing, this time on HeavensRing, the prize of Random Booster Volume 11. Finally have this thing. It was not easy to track down, but it's here now. So anyway, let me go ahead and get this thing opened up. Alright, I have everything out of the box now. First up, the instructions as always. Moving into the bay, we of course have the ratchet, the one reused part here, that being 080. And this bright highlighter color here, white on the outside. Pretty good looking 080, but again, just a reused part. Then we have Disc Spike, the new bit. Not a bad looking bottom piece for a defense bit. Got this large disc here as well. This part, we'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, again, kind of a highlighter color, a little bit more green, but still. Looks pretty cool visually, but performance-wise, yeah, this thing unfortunately isn't really great, and it's for somewhat of an unusual reason. This thing has low burst resistance. Yeah, it's worse than normal. Why they did this, I have no idea. It wasn't meant to be a balanced mechanic. I don't think it really needed it. So yeah, this thing is basically the most burst-prone bit in the game for absolutely no reason. Kind of just kills any potential this part might have had. Very, very weird choice by Takatomi. Moving on to the blade, we of course have HeavensRing. Very, very nice looking blade for sure. Again, this kind of highlighter color. Pretty big and balanced, talk about that in a second. But yeah, very round, very good design here. I like the gearship design. Of course, it is a BX expand bay as well. Very cool looking blade, but again, for some reason, Takatomi made the decision to just make this thing a lot worse than it really needed to be. You have this massive imbalance. That is a very large imbalance. It feels like they've become a little too afraid of making Wizard Rod 2. At least that's my assumption here, because it feels like every round base has to have some kind of a big nerf to it. Clock Mirage made sense for how crazy that thing is in its design, but I don't really think HeavensRing needed something like this. Certainly not to this extent. This just feels really, really imbalanced with how they made that. But that's just how it is. So we'll come back to that in a little bit. Anyway, let's go do the part weights real quick, just to check those out. First up we have 080, 7.51 grams. Disc Spike, 3.12 grams. And then HeavensRing, 37.21 grams. Very, very solid actually. And then all of the parts here for the full combo. 47.78 grams. Very, very solid for a defense type. Alright, let's go and put this together. Check out the full combo here. There we go. HeavensRing 080 Disc Spike. Looks very circular from multiple parts here. Very cool looking bay. But yeah, this burst resistance, you can just tell that is not staying in well at all. Very unnecessary nerf, but yeah, there is HeavensRing. So I feel like there isn't really any crazy gimmick to this thing. Again, it's just kind of round, meant to be like a shield, a strong defense type. Kind of what you'd expect for a BX defense type, of course being our second proper BX expand blade, which I would say is reflected in the weight. Moving on to my rankings, we of course have the aesthetic ranking, and this thing is really, really nice. It does have a very bright color scheme, but I don't mind that. My main issue would come with the bit. Normally, I don't like when bits look like this, mainly because they typically contrast a lot with the design, but this one, it just fits right in. Again, the blade is pretty bright, the ratchet's also bright, so it fits in fine. And yeah, this bay just looks really, really good. The metal especially just looks great. I actually think it being a BX expand blade does add a lot to its design, with the metal ring in the center there. So aesthetically, I'm going to give this thing a 9 out of 10. Probably one of the best looking bays in Beyblade X. Plus the gear chip design is just really good as well. I don't think it's quite a 10, but again, a very, very solid 9. Conceptually is where I have some problems with this thing. Again, it's just kind of a round blade, but with a really bad imbalance, which isn't great. That's never ideal for a stamina or defense type. 080 is just fine, works well enough. And then Disc Spike, if it just could have had a regular burst resistance, it could have been okay. It's a new bit, I guess it works. It's inoffensive, but giving it low burst resistance, That's a pretty big L in my opinion. Like, there was just no reason to do that. And I do rate these things based on their stock combos, and when you have a defense type bait that is extremely unbalanced and burst prone, that's just not really good. The base concept is still technically there though, so I don't want to be too harsh, but I'm still going to give it a 3 out of 10. Very unfortunate because I do like this bait a lot visually. Again, it looks great, but the concept is pretty bland, and they also just mess it up in 2 different ways, so yeah, it's not going to score that well. But I think that's everything for Heaven's Ring. Again, not like a crazy bait, but just a nice looking bait, and well, that's about it. I will say, wait for the Hasbro version of this thing, Ring Aether. Is the same bait, just renamed. They should be out any time now. I thought it was supposed to release already in the United States, but apparently it hasn't yet. Again, it should be any time now. Wait for that, try and find it. It's a much better plan to do that than try and get the Synchro Takatomi, which is a massive, massive headache to try and deal with. So I definitely say to just wait on this one. It should be out pretty soon. Anyway, that's all to say about Heaven's Ring, so thanks for watching, and bye-bye.